Hello and welcome back to Is There Something in This, the podcast where I, Scott Dooley, and he, Jason Chatfield, come up with our cartoons for the New Yorker. And look, firstly, so there's a few things we need to discuss off the top.
Sure.
We've been away because of my selfish son.
You have an infant who has no respect for the podcasting community at all.
No, but ironically, he really respects people that take cocaine. So he likes people that talk about starting podcasts but never do.
He does have that quality. He gets that from his mum, which is nice.
I had one of those nights. I wasn't doing cocaine, but I had one of those really late nights with a mate of mine who was in town, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I went into bed. This was the latest I've been up since the kid was born, right?
Sure.
And according to my wife, okay, so
here we go.
Not a credible witness because I don't remember this at all. I went in and said, honey, me and Karen are starting a business. I woke her up to tell her about our drunken conversation. I was like, we're going to do it. We're going to solve it.
Amateur mistake. Just leave it. Keep it to yourself until the morning when you realize it's a stupid idea.
We should point out that we are recording this on the Friday before the US election.
Correct.
So if you're listening to this and you're like, hey, it's weird they're not mentioning that dog biting, Bernie Sanders at the polling phase.
Or the apocalypse. And, if you're listening to this around a campfire with buildings smoldering behind you, just know that we're recording this before the election.
If you're eating an animal that you have cooked and someone has said, did you take the collar off this time?
Did it have a leash with a name on it? Yeah.
Then, listen, our apologies, but we kind of have things to do.
Grievous omission. Also, one other thing we should mention is that those of you watching us on Substack can actually see us on video. For this is the first time I think we've ever, well, not including the live podcasts, you can actually see us now, our faces. If you're listening to this and just walking the dog, also fine. The audio, if you're taking out
Don't
bins,
eat your dog.
Don't eat your dog yet.
Unless, of course, you're like Jason and I and are foreigners in America. Because according to one former president, that's what we get up to.
Or your cats.
Or your cats.
No, let's
We're
not
not picky.
Let's not discriminate.
That was one of the funnier bits of that whole thing.
Ridiculous.
He was like, they're eating the dogs. And then he was like, and the cats. Like,
yeah, he didn't want to discriminate just in case the cat voters are a little worried.
I think they've already annoyed them.
Why?
Well, when J.D. Vance said anyone that,
Oh, yeah, the cat ladies. He wanted to get the cat ladies back by saying that he's worried about cats. Of course, that was the Kamala Harris and Trump debate, which we all thought was going to be a big turning point in the election. We're like, all right, she's got it. This is going to help. This is great. And I remember that feeling, that feeling where things just turned around and that thing in the pit of your stomach just kind of started to...
One thing I'm not going to miss with the election being over, no matter who has won, is I'm not going to see another one of these things like with 30,000 upvotes on Reddit.
Right.
That's like, privately, Donald Trump's really worried.
Oh my God.
And then he comes out, shows no signs of it.
Yep.
He's like calling people's wives ugly and shit.
Goldfish of a president with the same coloured skin. So we're back doing this. We're also in a very interesting point in history. You and I have been, and for those of you who are only just tuning in for the first time, Scott and I do cartoons for the New Yorker magazine and for all sorts of publications. We come up, this is kind of our writers' meeting, this is our writers' room, and we often try and come up with topical cartoons that are kind of timely, political, cultural, or the weather, and pitch those often as daily cartoons for the New Yorker, which we call ourselves the Weathermen, just casually, behind closed doors.
It's raining jokes. That's a little Weathermen reference.
And it's one of those things where the New Yorker tries to not just do evergreen cartoons that run in the magazine. They run them online on the website. A day of, we ideally it's an idea that's come up with that morning and then drawn up that day to run in that afternoon's website. Ideally. Doesn't always happen that way, but yeah. So if you ever hear us referring to a daily or a political cartoon, that's what we're talking about.
Absolutely, let's just get into it because I do have a couple of dailies. I just
fantastic. Right
in lieu of the election, not in lieu of the election. Instead of the election, we're gonna present the American people these jokes.
I think apropos of the election.
Yeah.
Maybe? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What have you got? What, is there something
Inspired by.
Okay.
From the twisted mind that brought you the 2020 election.
Is there something?
Is there something in? So this is just more a concept, and I don't really know how to kind of. I don't know the execution.
Okay.
But is there something in like someone dating someone, talking to their friend,
Go on.
and saying, "Oh, she's a real optimist. She made plans for after the election."
Yeah, that's
That's
great. She's a real optimist.
It's just a bit handholdy like that. But you know what I mean? Like, is there something in the idea of optimism, but is believing that there will still be a republic after Tuesday?
That's the level of optimism that is beyond the. Yeah. So today I had a friend that I was talking to in London who was saying, "Hey, you know, you haven't had your they were talking about a 40th birthday present. They were like, hey." You know, you've always wanted to go to Scotland, do the tour of all the whiskey.
Oh, that'd be great.
And I was like, yeah, that's great. Hey, I should do that. And then I realized immediately, as soon as I said it, I was like, I don't know what the world's going to look like even 28 days from now.
I mean, you'd be an idiot to sign up for the psoriasis pack now. You know, you got to wait.
And it hit me that I can't make any. Literally, my calendar is blank. Usually, I'm planning like a year ahead. My calendar's blank, dude. I have no things planned for the first time in my entire life, apropos of this fucking election.
Do you really think that's related?
I swear to God, subconsciously, I think I just cannot place myself or where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing, and what the world's going to look like after November 5th.
As someone who's got a child, can I just...
I do wonder what you think of that, because the optimism of having a child is another...
Listen, that was a rare sexual misstep from my wife and I, and we've both admitted it.
So, I'm gonna the rare sexual misstep. What a great opinion. That's on the record now.
There we go.
Yeah, to watch this when you're 21 and watching this, Leo. Just that's anyway. So yeah, there's something in that. I don't know if it's dating though. I don't know if she's really optimistic. It's the idea. Maybe it's a job interview or something like that. Where do you see yourself in 5? You know, like that's the level of optimism.
Or is it like glass half empty, glass half full, plans after the election?
That's good.
It's just quite a simple...
I love ones where, and look, I know that too sounds like it might be a little hand-holdy and a little labely, but actually, or a little SS, if you will. But I actually think that works better because it's easier to get there. You're not framing it and setting it up as someone who's dating. It's not a human being.
The dating's just an unnecessary step
but it's
to
a framing
joke.
Yeah, it's a framing device. How's the assumption? Oh, what's she like? Oh, well, it's very optimistic. I mean, she's got plans for November 7th, 8th, 20th. You know what I mean? Like, what an insane thing to do.
So in that spirit, I've got a couple more along those lines.
Well, hang on a sec. Because one of the advantages now that we have of this visual medium is we can actually do some drawing.
Oh yeah, we
live.
should probably use that.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah. So I was thinking. Okay, so you're gonna start drawing this. Yeah. What I was. I don't know if it's like, I just don't, like, if it's just 3, like, it's just 2 glasses that are half full or half empty. Well, no, they're just halfway.
Right, like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the third one's just a calendar.
Oh, the third one's just a calendar.
Well, what do you think?
I think the interesting thing about this one is, like, it could be any. I mean, is it a
like one of those tear off like far side
like
calendar
a day calendar,
things. Yeah.
a day calendar. Yeah.
Or
yeah, so glass half full, glass half empty. Because it's optimist pessimist, isn't it? And then,
or it's just is it a text conversation? Reservations at 10 or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, how do you show that? Yeah, you're right. Because what was the original framing? The original framing was a couple.
I had
of
it as
talking.
like they're dating, or I'm talking to this person and they're a real optimist because they want to do something.
Yeah.
There's also a world where this isn't a very good idea.
No, that doesn't exist. For the record, that doesn't exist. There's no world where that
There's
exists.
no bad ideas, just bad audiences.
Yeah. What if it is like an empty glass? And yet that level of optimism is the level that is required to make plans after the election. It's lower. The water level is lower than the other one.
The counter to that is it's overflowing.
That's not optimism, though. You don't require optimism for that. It's the opposite. It's like a tiny little drop.
Yeah,
left
no,
in
you're
the
right.
glass. So it would be half full,
Half full, yeah.
half empty, and then this little piddly thing, and then making plans after.
What if it's not even a glass, Jason? What if it's just a puddle next to a coaster?
Just a coaster.
It's just a coaster with a. That's it. Yeah. That's pretty funny. And maybe, yeah. I like.
It's simpler. Like, I like being able to distill an idea down to something very simple, just very like, like, remember we had that semi-dried tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes, fake canned tomatoes. Like, when you've got
I forgot that.
like
joke.
a triad. That was one of yours. I always liked that idea. It never sold. But it had like, there's something very
That
nice.
never sold?
Yeah. I always just liked the idea because it was, we had like 6 fake tan jokes in a row that we were just trying to get over the line. We never quite got.
That was my Snooki era. I couldn't something
That's
about
what Jersey Shore is.
So just to stay on the whole election and stuff like that. So I've got a couple, and I think this has been done.
Okay.
And I think maybe we did it, but I can't remember. It might be an Ellis thing.
Sure.
Is someone at the psychologist, the classic, the tropey on
It's
the
a
couch.
therapist couch
Therapist
joke, yep.
couch, there you go.
Great.
And the therapist is saying, yes, it is a period in history where there are a lot of negative triggers, but on the bright side, I've never been busier. I think there's something funny about a selfish therapist, like just inherently, like,
Yeah.
Or this one was, well, instead of focusing on the negative, what about the positives? Like, I've never been busier.
Like my bank balance. Yeah. I don't mind that. I don't mind a selfish, greedy-looking therapist. And let me have a look.
That is a funny, like, there is something inherently funny about a therapist bringing everything back to themselves.
Yeah. That's great.
Like, yeah, I don't know how that would work. Yeah, I think that. So you've got the couch
Got all
and
the degrees.
yeah, all the degree. Yeah. The leather-bound books and the whole lot. Yeah. The classic.
All that.
The
And
Tobias Funke
Yeah.
look.
Right. And then
I'm just trying to mic you.
Yeah,
And now
it's all
I've
right.
absolutely.
I've also got this mic.
I've also blocked your.
That's okay.
Blocked your beautiful visage.
But I like that he's like really happy and excited. He's like, yeah, but look at the bright side.
Is there a bit of chicken fat in this? Of like, he's got brochures for skiing vacations.
No, I was just gonna say like something like he's sitting on this like really expensive like throne.
yeah. He's got a huge
He's
throne.
got a massive chair. It's like a beautiful thing. He's got a Ming vase. He's got, you know what I mean? He's got like these incredibly expensive. It's one of those very lush,
So this
Upper
could
West
be
Side
actually.
apartments.
So in that vein, then, Jace,
Yeah.
is there a joke in "Should Trump Get Up"? Is there a joke in a psychiatrist? Like maybe telling the patient just wait 1 second, and he's on the phone going, book the trip. He won. Because this was another one, which was the union of therapists endorsing Trump.
Yeah, that's not bad. The union of therapists endorsing Trump is funny because they're going to need the other thing is like, okay, so I don't know what I'm more afraid of. Maybe you can level me out here, but I don't know if I'm more afraid of him winning or her winning and the fallout from his side. Knowing what happened on January 6th in 2021, which I remember you called me that day. You go, are you watching this? I'm like, I don't have a TV on. You're like, you fucking idiot. Turn on the TV. I was drawing that day. I was drawing the book that we were working on.
Oh, yeah.
And I turned on the TV and it was just like...
Take a break.
Take a break. Relax. Turn on the telly.
Take your mind off all this work.
And I remember just watching it just in horror, just being like, this is as bad as it gets. But then I thought, actually, it's not. It's not as bad as it gets because it could be much, much, much worse. And I don't know what I'm more afraid of is the political violence that comes from her winning or the psychological bedlam of him winning, and just the fallout of just, internationally, as far as like, geopolitical wars, and the economy, tariffs, him throwing the word tariffs around, the effects of the stock market.
Is that a joke? Is one of his advisors go, I should never have taught him the word tariff.
I wonder if he even knows how that works. He uses that term so often.
Okay, so a couple of things.
Yeah.
Number one,
Yeah.
everyone listening knows that everything you said didn't happen.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh
But
yeah. That's funny.
I don't know, like, so to get slightly serious, are we gassed up by the media, which is such a dumb thing to say, but
Sure.
But what we consume, where the extreme outcome of any situation kind of has to be mentioned. There's a certain requirement in reporting that if this happens, then blah, blah, blah. Particularly in America, which is the home of the extreme yet logical conclusion.
Sure.
This is the place where if you talk a bunch of guff about a group of people, there is a good chance that someone is going to go and try to harm that group.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's the whole
the most armed country. On
yeah. Which in and of itself, this is like we see it every day. The extreme yet logical conclusion of allowing people to have a lot of weapons is that people are going to get shot en masse.
Yeah.
That's
gonna happen.
is the
We've
logical.
had to come to understand
that is
about
the
what we do,
logical conclusion, and it riles up people that have guns because they want to go hunting or go to the firing range or something. But this is the reality. And I wonder if that is playing into this kind of feeling of impending doom.
It's a feeling of impending doom, for sure.
Regardless of the outcome.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
And I think it's really simplistic to be like, well, it's just the media. Like,
No. I think there's a very, very clear and visceral like feeling in New York. It's a blue bubble, but still, everyone just. It's you can feel it. It's a palpable. It's a sense of just this impending. Everyone as the day comes closer. So this is my first year voting as a citizen. I'm a US citizen now, and I keep putting it off, and I don't know what this is.
Oh, you're a swinging voter.
Yeah.
You've made that clear with your statement.
A swinging procrastinator is what I am. But I don't know what it is, because I don't want to be anywhere near a polling booth on election day, which is already like a crazy thing to have to think about.
Oh, wait, sorry, I just had an idea.
Yeah.
A guy showing up to the polling booth, leather, gimp mask, ball.
Yeah.
Where are the swinging voters?
Oh, my God. Why do you think all swingers are gimps?
Well,
I have to convince you that this is not the case. Not all swingers.
Wait, why are you all of a sudden defending swingers?
Okay. Also, I think this might be the joke. Is just a bowl for the swing voters.
Oh yeah,
To put their
undecided voters leave your keys.
Yeah. Just undecided voters has a bowl for their keys.
And there's some like very 70s guy with like a leopard skin.
Isn't that is that still a thing? I mean, it's a dated reference, but I just wonder how many people get the reference of a swingers party being, there's a bowl at the front of the house or something, and everyone puts their car keys in, and at the end they just pull out the car keys, and that's who they go home with. It's an old swingers party.
Well, no, the swingers party was
Was it a political party?
It was a C plot on an episode of the OC once.
Are you serious? I did not know this.
Kiki and
okay.
Sandy Cohen.
Wow.
Got invited to the seamy underbelly of the OC.
OC, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Not only do you get, this is the greatest thing about this podcast, not only do you get spicy tidbits about Gilmore Girls, and
we are heading into Gilmore Girls season.
100%. Cuffing season, if you will. But yeah, also OC tidbits. So, all right, here's the other thing. It just occurred to me that the therapist, this has been mulling while I've been thinking about gimp masks and bowls with keys in them. It's the therapist on the phone to his dealer saying, buy the boat. Do it, buy the boat. And on the TV it says Trump wins by a large margin or something. Like it's the therapist saying buy the boat. Because famously you can't buy a boat without being able to afford it 4 times over. Because the maintenance on a boat and the docking, all the extra costs associated with buying a boat are so extraordinary. It's one of the most expensive things a human being can do, even if they're Jeff Bezos, like a super yacht or whatever. It's the most expensive liability. He'll be okay. He'll be on an island in New Zealand if Trump wins. So I feel like that the boat might be a funnier. Also sounds pretty funny. Buy the boat. Yeah, buy the boat. Because book the trip.
No, you're
makes
right.
it seem like he's skipping the country.
Yeah,
Because everyone keeps talking about skipping the
yeah.
country if he wins, and buy the boat's kind of funny. I think I do like. And
if it's like, or is it even like, because remember this, now this is my thing where everyone's listening going, well, that didn't happen. My theory is we're not going to have a conclusive result until Thursday or Friday.
Sure.
If the last election was anything to go by,
Yeah, I think it was.
right? It was Saturday when
Pennsylvania on a Saturday.
Saturday on So if the psycho, I don't know. Is it like I've seen the exit polling? Let's get the boat. But then we're in very SS territory if it's like we're having to write like, Dr. John psychologist on the he's hung his shingle.
No, I think we have the Shea Lounge, the therapist couch here, and the armchair with the clipboard. It's all in there. All the hallmarks of our therapist.
Oh yeah, and all the hallmarks of one of our cartoons, which is television explaining reference. Which is always a classic.
I realized the other day
I think we've got like 5 or 6 in the New Yorker.
Yeah,
that are that.
That's so funny because the other day someone looked up. I did the old when they were like, "Oh, would I know any of your work?" And you go, "Oh, yeah, I've been Mad Magazine and bits and pieces of the New Yorker." And they go, "Oh, the New Yorker."
And you go, "I'm in Mad Magazine." They go, "Well, I am an adult woman and not a 11-year-old
not a 12-year-old boy hiding magazines under my mattress." And they're like, "Oh, the New Yorker, that's great. Yeah, would I know any stuff?" I'm like, "Oh, no, there's some stuff." They're Googling it on their phone as I'm talking.
That's always fun.
Always good. And I'm seeing like it's scrolling through all of our cartoons that we've done for the dailies and stuff. I think 8 out of 10, it's a TV explaining the news event with a crawler, and a news. So and even if it's not, the TV's in there somewhere, and it's It's I think it was Trump looking at a bunch of child student protesters. There's
the Super Bowl was
Super
one
Bowl,
of them.
Yeah, don't call first. That's a sign of weakness. And I'm going through. I'm like, boy, we got a lot of these things. But here's the other thing. What it does is, and this is something that political cartoonists always have trouble with, is that when you don't know what the news story was of the day, it kind of doesn't stand on its own. Like historically, you look back on it, you go, what the hell was that about? Did Nixon lose a tooth? Like, what is this cartoon? But if it has on the TV the actual thing, or it used to be, especially in Australia, the trick used to be like having a newspaper in the background with the headline.
Oh.
So that if you syndicated the cartoon, doesn't matter what the reference was, you would see what the news story was.
Or you just clearly marked the petulant child as Europe.
Yeah. And the guy holding the briefcase is the IRS.
Yeah. A bird called the economy is swooping. It doesn't make any sense.
It's a giant steamship going towards an iceberg named Recession. Shout out to Kelly at the
Shout out to Kelly. Yeah, who actually Kelly is doing
an exhibition
in LA at the moment. Go and check it out. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were kind of my daily ones. For my and I'll quickly. So one of them I think you won't particularly like.
Oh no. Okay.
So I was watching. Actually, I'm not gonna give you the whole like advertising agency. You know, like, have you ever been in an advertising agency when they're showing their finished product, like they've made an ad, and they sit down with the client, and they go, "Here's our 30-second spot," and then before they show the 30-second spot, there's a 45-minute PowerPoint presentation where they talk about the demographics and listen, Action Bronson's really hot amongst 18 to 34s, and what we think, and yeah, he's edgy, but he's blah blah blah, and but all that stuff, and then they show the ad, and I would always think to myself, we are not going to be showing the person at home a 45-minute preamble about, how Action Bronson has a cousin that lives in Queens and that's why this works.
Yeah.
Show the ad and then justify its existence. Don't do it the other way around.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
One salmon swimming.
Can I just say, I knew that you
talking
justifying this
animal.
was going to be a fucking talking animal. The minute you started justifying this, have you ever been in an ad agency? Oh, this sounds like a very erudite and interesting little analysis of. No, it's a fucking talking animal. I knew it. Anyway, go on.
Well, do you want to hear what he's got to say
I
or
mean,
not?
whatever. Go
All
on.
right. So one salmon to another salmon,
Yeah.
and they're like swimming upstream. Right? It's like, and he goes, "Do you ever get deja vu?" That's so annoyingly shit, isn't it? Is that annoyingly bad or is it clever?
I think it's annoyingly bad. Because it is. I mean, my immediate go-to is, has that been done? But I don't think it's been done. I think it's funny. I think it's. So okay, all right, hang on. So it's salmon clearly swimming upstream
To go and spawn and die.
Well, yeah, okay.
So
Right.
So that is.
So we've got the rapid, the
yeah. They're going upstream, and there's bears and shit.
There's a bear here.
Yeah, there's bears,
and he's he's at the edge there with the he's got the and then there's a stream. There's lots of white water, and then we're looking under the surface of the water here, right?
Yeah,
and it's the salmon
just having a chat. As they do. They're always gabbing about something. Those
they're always gabbing those salmon. That's why they taste so good.
Cool. The Ocean's Talk Show host, they call them.
The Ocean's Talk Show. The Ocean's Jimmy. The Jimmy of the Sea.
Jimmy of the Sea, that's great.
Oh, man. Yeah, there's something about it. Yeah. Do you ever get deja vu?
Oh, I just got the weirdest deja vu.
Oh, yeah, do you ever get deja vu? Do you ever get deja vu versus I just got deja vu?
Yeah, do you get deja vu?
What's because I think one of them might be a more common phrase, oh, I just got the weirdest sense of deja vu.
Or is there something like, were we just here? Or like the idea of like...
No, I like the word deja vu in there. I think that's doing a lot of lift. I think it's doing
Yeah. It's also just pretentious enough for people to, that hint of French.
Right up the New Yorker's alley. So...
And if not, the Paris Review will buy it.
I wish.
Also, see you on the Mound Paris Review. We're going to smoke you.
You're dead, I see you.
We should point out, that's not us threatening the staff of Paris Review. Another fine Condé Nast publication. No, we play softball for the New Yorker against those mutts.
They beat us every year. Yeah, every summer we play in the New Yorker softball team against Esquire, Rolling Stone, and Paris Review.
Do you know why? It's our own fault for why you lose, because we got all those guys from the New York Yankees to be ringers. Hopeless.
Too soon. Too fucking soon. Scott and I went out on Monday night to watch Game 3 with all of we were so pumped.
Pumped. Sorry.
We were so excited, and it was like went out for a big dinner and had a great time. Then we go to this amazing place, it's a great bar in New York where we watched the Yankees game, full of Yankees fans, just all the anticipation in the world. And it's what I anticipate 2016 to be in New York City during the election in November.
Yeah.
But just the feeling of just everyone's stomach sinking in unison as we lost the third game in a row, which is only second to watching on Wednesday night. Just the fifth inning.
5-0 up is
5 up is, and it was the best feeling in the world, and then losing that in the quickest way possible.
When Judge dropped that,
I
was
God.
like, all right,
he's
that's
never
done.
forgetting that for the rest of his life. That's going on his headstone.
Yeah.
One of the worst innings in the history of baseball, truly. Really, genuinely upsetting.
There were a lot of those,
so bad.
It's like, and don't the baseball commentators love? I don't
delicious
follow the game as closely as Jason. But they love a throwback to some guy that's got an insane nickname.
Yes, they
Like,
do.
like there's a shoeless someone, or
hapless. Yeah,
not since Three Thumbs Johnson.
Yeah.
Why was he called? And then you're on Wikipedia.
Giddy Wilson.
Yeah,
in 1593.
Like he just used to be really positive, so they thumbs up all the time. It's insane.
It goes back to 1634 baseball. It's a crazy, crazy game. But it charts the whole history of America better than most.
All right, Ken Burns, save it for your documentary. Hey,
Okay.
speaking of a daily.
Yeah.
Okay, guy at a bar.
Okay.
Holding court.
Yep.
Bit of a prick.
Yep.
And he goes, well as viral immunology, Olympic diving, figure skating, and gymnastics, I'm actually something of an expert on the Electoral College. You know those things? The Electoral College is one of those things we should remember.
Such a specific thing.
As every 4 years, every 4 years we all go, oh, too much splash.
Yeah.
Every 4 years we're like, oh, did you see his hands on the rotation at the moguls? Oh, his knees went
We're
apart.
all experts at diving, skiing in the winter,
skiing in the winter,
Olympics.
and the Electoral College.
And then, of course, during COVID, everyone was an immunologist.
It's pretty well worn path.
I think we had a daily at one point. I don't know if it got up, but I can't remember if it was just the people walking, the couple in the park walking, just saying, I forgot how many of my family are immunologists.
Yeah, that was yeah. I feel like it's a pretty well worn path, to be honest. It's not a particularly fresh insight.
Yeah, but it's true. That's the worst part about it, is that it's true. Everyone just becomes an armchair expert at one of the most complex political.
Hey, do you want to draw God getting arrested?
Always, you know me.
All right. So this is the idea. I don't know how we execute it
while you're explaining it.
Okay. So it's God, and he's being taken away, and he's being charged with cruel and unusual punishment. like God's up for war crimes. I don't know. Like, is it one step too far? Is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, how are we showing that it's cruel and unusual?
Can you? So
how are we showing the charges? Is he walking into court?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe he's walking into court. Can you put like light beams coming off God? Like, yeah. Yeah. And you know when he speaks in his defense, like all the windows are going to shatter. Everyone dies. No one can hear the purity of his voice.
The defense rested on a Sunday. That's terrible. Yeah, is he in?
You're now a co-defendant of God for that joke.
It's terrible. Is he being arrested in heaven? And is the policeman saying, like, you have a right to an attorney, anything you say you can and will be against you? Is it at that moment, and he's saying you're being charged with the crime of cruel and unusual punishment?
Yeah. God, you're under arrest for cruel and unusual. It's so funny. God, you're under arrest. It's
like, you'll never get me. It hasn't been documented anywhere. Actually, it's in the First Testament.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't realize you were such a deep theologian. It's in the First Testament.
The old, I think you'll find, but I don't want to age shame the Bible. So
the Bible's suing for ageism's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's not bad. Old Testament. Hey, come on. It's age for ageism.
Or the Old Testament's buying like an RV, just take a trip.
But the charge is it not the gallows? What do you call it when God is he on the stand, or is he is it the when all rise for the sentencing and the judge for the charge of cruel and unusual punishment, the jury finds the defendant.
Yeah,
Is that too much? Is it a hat on a hat?
It's a bit of a hat. Yeah, I just maybe we're not
guilty for the crime of cruel and unusual punishment,
or is it? I don't know. Is it someone making the announcement? We've put a warrant out for God.
Is it wanted? Is it a wanted poster? Cruel and unusual punishment.
That
could be it. It's a wanted poster.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
For the crime. Yeah.
But then, what's the image?
I mean, it's good.
Is the image funny? Like a sunrise?
No, it's
they always say it's like. Like a human eye.
I know. I like the idea of it being a mugshot for something.
Oh, he's been arrested.
He's already been arrested.
He got in a fight at a Phillies preseason game.
At spring training.
he went down to spring training, got liquored up on Mike's Hard Lemonade, and punched the third base coach at a meet and greet.
After too much ambrosia. Wow. Yeah, no, I think a wanted poster might be the go because
I like wanted poster.
yeah, wanted, and then like it's him and it's his mugshot. For the crime of
God's mugshot is very funny. Hey, can we have him like 40 foot tall?
oh yeah, 40 foot.
Like yeah. Like,
That's funny.
where they've got all the heights next to the
Yeah, that's funny. And he's got the long hair. He's got to fill his hat. No, he's got. Yeah, that's not bad. There's
Do
something
not
there.
approach.
Do not approach. Yeah.
The defendant is pious and dangerous.
Dangerous. Oh my god. There's a lot of scope there. I mean, God cartoons. It's its own genre in the New Yorker. If you go to the New Yorker collections, there's an entire section on pearly gates and God cartoons. You and I did one a while ago, which was apropos of the election. The sort of red state-looking guy in his plaid and his MAGA hat and he's kind of toothless with a beard.
You really lent into that.
Really lent into it. Just me. Oh, I went with the surgeon who just told it like it is.
That was during COVID. Yeah, we did a lot of that kind of do your own research, kind of Aaron Rodgers-y stuff.
Well, he might be correct. Well, he tells it like it is. Yeah. Okay. So Joe Rogan's a doctor. Great. You know.
Okay, I got two more for you.
Go on.
All right, this will be very quick. I'm sorry to have taken up so much time. Okay, drill sergeant, right?
Yep.
This one. I don't know how you do the perspective, but it's a drill sergeant going down the line of new recruits.
Yep.
You know, like you got a bad, what's your major malfunction kind of, kind of guy, screaming in people's faces. And he's saying to the group, this ain't gonna be no picnic. Right? So yeah, he's like very aggressive, very in people's face. And then we've got the line of recruits, and at the end of the line, there is a guy who is very clearly prepared for a picnic. And he's got a picnic basket, he's got a little bottle of wine, maybe the plaid rug, the tartan thermos. You know, he's ready for a picnic. Everyone else is in full fatigues, except there's one cat who's just at the end of the line, and he's like, he looks mortified. He thought he was signing up for a picnic. And now...
That's good. He's terrified. Everyone else is in.
Everyone else is in standard issue, proper haircuts. You know those dumb little hats they wear. Yeah, there you go. They're not dumb little hats. You guys, thank you for your service. Yeah, no, you look great. But I just don't have a head for hats. Therefore, I lash out. I lash out. Yeah, that looks great.
That's funny. Barracks up here.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. Is that a turret?
It is a turret. Correct. And then the monkey bars. Gotta put the monkey bars in there. It's a training camp.
Oh yeah.
Bootcamp is.
Yeah, it's the boot camp. Yeah.
And he's just like, oh no.
He's ready.
I've got a little bottle of wine.
Yeah, he's probably a little bottle of wine. He's got his linen slacks on.
And he's got the thermos, and he's got a little bottle of Shiraz. He's got some, and yeah, there we go. And he's got. I think there's something here. I think there's something
in that joke. Yeah. And the last one
is. This ain't gonna be no picnic. Is that the line?
This ain't gonna be no picnic. Yeah. And then the last one is a sniper on a roof. He's got comms in, and he's speaking into the comms, and he's got one of those. You know those laser sights?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think you need to draw this because it's just the guy and he's saying into the comms, you said nothing about cats. Which is, I don't know, is that such a well-worn path, that one? I'm going to get a beer while you discuss how funny I am.
They're in the fridge. So whenever I think of cartoons about, first of all, any cartoons about guns, I think about the POV, like what are we showing? How do we? Is it from the perspective of the shooter? Is it from the perspective of the reticle? Like the what do you call it? The eyepiece thing. I don't know what you would call it.
Crosshairs.
Crosshairs.
Do you have an opener?
Oh, I do, yeah. Is it the... Actually, it opens on the fridge, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, and also, like, I think about the... Is he... So he's on the roof, flat, on his stomach. He's all set up with the little tripod thing for the sniper thing. And he's putting his finger to his ear? Is that...
Yeah, and
sort of
it's
saying,
like,
you
it's like
never
you didn't
said-
say they had a cat or
You
something.
never said anything about them having a cat.
Yeah. Like maybe he's like in all black or something. Like he's
Yeah.
not a
Oh, is he a spec ops dude? Is he
Yeah,
like
yeah, like he's a
has he got the
hitman or
goggles
something.
on with the night vision goggles with the like real
I mean,
or is he a sniper?
I don't know what the difference. What's
Well, the difference is
the joke is the laser is attracting cats.
right. Well, yeah, and both of them have like laser sights.
His backstory I didn't get too deep into.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I think.
He had
the
a
image
weird
is.
relationship with his dad, and he wanted to prove that he was tough, so he got into the army. That
Yeah.
didn't work out, so then he went into private contracting. Before he knew it, he was a hitman. It all happened so quickly, yet subtly. You happy now? What's he wearing?
So that's funny. So yeah, I think the image is of the Spec Ops guys walking into an operation. It's one of those like taking out. It looks like a palace, like they're taking out an Argentinian president. You know what I mean? Like a Venezuelan dictator. But one of the there's the rest of them moving in unison, like across the towards the target. But the
Yeah.
other guy is just like clearly the cat is doing the against the wall.
Oh, I didn't even have that.
the
I just had
guy-
him just like, yeah, that's
Well,
funny.
but
No, yeah.
I like it. You know, my favorite cartoon is a captionless cartoon, and it's the laser pointer.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
The Spec Ops guy just laser pointer.
Yeah,
at the cat
yeah, and your
going,
man can't get it. Yeah. All right, that's me. I've
That's you?
taken up way too much
great.
time.
I think that's funny. I like that idea. I'm going to draw just so that I can sort of talk my way through that one, just so I can sort of see it.
Oh, okay,
I'm
cool.
going to draw that one. The rest of the SWAT team, right? They've got their guns and their goggles. They're clearly in some palace, so like you would show these big ornate picture frames with like the portrait of the Venezuelan
Like Pinochet or something.
yeah, exactly, with a moustache,
Yeah, yeah.
And they're creeping along, they've all maybe there's two of them. And they're going towards the target, right? Over this way. It's dark, there's like one of those plinths with a vase on it. There's always a vase. And then these guys haven't noticed that this guy has got his rifle with the laser.
Oh, is he like mucking around with the cat?
Well, I don't know if he's mucking around with it, but now the cat is like...
That's pretty funny.
like the cat's playing with the laser pointer. So like through the way that it's like read it left to right, what is happening? It's a spec. It's this weird mission, and then something's happened over here. Where
Is
it's
it
like,
is there something just to expand on this as an idea, because it's pretty violent imagery.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's the setup is, but this silliness, like him waggling the laser pointer.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, so it's clearly moving around. He's not shooting the cat. He's like playing with it.
What about like, where else do you see lasers? Like, I think I've seen it.
Laser tag with cats is pretty funny.
That's pretty funny.
What if it's a bunch of cats about to go into a laser tag game? Like they've got their gear on and everything, and it's just like, oh, this is going to be bedlam. This is going to be horrible.
Yeah,
Bunch of cats in laser tag, ready to go laser tag, or is it a laser tag place saying no cats, or like out front and saying
or LASIK surgery.
laser, LASIK, no cats. Oh, is it a cat? Like, is it cat
cats?
getting LASIK?
No, is it cats? Is it like 4 cats in a trench coat, like trying to go in to get LASIK surgery? They know there's a laser back there,
That's pretty funny. Yeah, a bunch of cats lined up
like
for LASIK
trying to sneak
surgery.
into a
Yeah, there's something.
X-rated film or something.
Something that, yeah. Yeah, there's something about cats sneaking into a laser or what's it? A laser removal? You know, there's every second spa thing is like laser eyebrow hair, or laser
that's
hair
interesting.
Removal. Laser hair removal.
Oh, what if it's like a queue of cats, right? And they're all queued around the block for laser hair removal, and then a bald cat is walking out. But now we're in pussy territory.
I'm afraid now we're in pussy territory.
Sorry.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're in. We need a sound effect.
You've entered the pussy zone.
Oh my God.
That's pretty funny.
Okay. And look, some of these are a little half-baked, which is why I bring them to the pod, because I want to run them through your filter and see if there's anything in this.
I was like, nah, you got nothing this week, dude.
Is there something in this? Is there something in the idea of, you know how, because LA is 3 hours behind. I've got a lot of friends. There's been a lot of churn. Anyone who moves to New York knows that they lose friends to LA. That's just what happens, especially if you work in entertainment or where, you know, it just eventually friends move to LA. It's what happens. It's 3 hours behind. Mm-hmm. It's same Perth to Sydney, same landmass, 3 hours behind. So if you have friends in LA, they're calling you at 9 p.m. because they're just finishing up their day. It's 9 p.m. here, it's 6 p.m. there. And I've got clients and friends and stuff like that out in LA who just, you know, have no compunction about it. They got no problem just calling you at 11 o'clock at night. So, hey, yo, man, I'm going to bed. Like, no, I'm just getting started for the night. Is it that New York is the city that never sleeps because LA keeps calling?
Oh, that's a funny idea.
Yeah. New York, the city that never sleeps because LA keeps calling. Is there something in that?
The time zone thing is kind of timely because we're going into out of daylight savings on Sunday. And we're, as established, recording this on a Friday.
Right.
On a Friday, original name for Radiohead.
On a Friday?
On a Friday was the name of that band.
Okay, look at that. You got Gilmore Girls, you got a bit of OC, a little bit of Radiohead. Very nice.
I mean, listen, if you're white, you have enjoyed the shit out of this.
You're very
You've understood everything.
You're very welcome, Derek. Anyway.
Yeah, Jason and Scott, they're two.
Yeah, two of the whitest names in history.
Yeah, the time difference is... So I once had this idea about how... And it's probably... It's not kind of a very kosher topic to play with. But the idea that, like, when LA wakes up...
Yeah.
Particularly when Trump had first gotten in and so much stuff was like just so
two news
much
cycles
stuff
already.
was happening.
Yeah.
And they wake up and they're like, what? You guys have been up for 3 hours.
Yeah.
He has already called, he's done, burn it down.
Yeah.
And that's where all the wildfires came from. They're like, forget it.
Just fuck it.
Just
burn
start
it down.
again.
Just burn it down. Yeah. There's something there. The idea that once Trump's in and LA's 3 hours behind, the amount of malarkey that could happen, sorry to use Joe Biden's term, the amount of shenanigans that could happen in 3 hours while everyone's been up, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah. I just like, maybe New York's a city that never sleeps because it's just never, now we can't sleep. It's just the Statue of Liberty, and she just looks bedraggled and so fucking tired and exhausted by all of this. Just like, fuck this. City that doesn't sleep. City that never sleeps. Gonna slip you an Ambien. I don't know. Just I think it's the idea is that the city never sleeps just because LA keeps calling. LA wakes you up. Friends in LA will wake you up. That is the truth of the matter, and it happens all the time. I should just put my phone on silent, but I don't.
Yeah, I feel you could be contributing to that somehow.
A little bit, but then what happens if something happens in LA? What if the big one happens and then I'm like, I slept through it?
Yeah, you'd never know about it.
Watching too many films with The Rock in it. Yeah, I don't know.
Have you noticed like when you're watching a movie, if he's billed as The Rock, you're going to see some serious stuff.
Yeah, whereas if
he's Dwayne Johnson, you're like, oh, he's going to be looking after a kid. somewhere.
He's going to be a dad.
If he's in an A24 film, like, yo, Rock's about to get cancer.
Rock cancer. Oh my God.
Yeah. Or is there something in like people from LA kind of wanting to know what's going to happen? It's like, it doesn't work that way.
Oh,
like
that's
in the
funny.
next 3 hours.
Oh yeah, so after the election, after the polls close,
They're like
LA
they're
calls
calling
New
for like
York?
race tips and stuff.
Just like sporting almanac level.
Yeah, they're getting real biff.
Who wins in the third at Flemington?
Yeah. Hey, you reckon Curry's going to score more than 30 tonight? Dude, we
so
don't know.
That's so dumb. Yeah, that's very funny. Someone calling New York, just going, did he win? Yeah, that's very silly. That's very
Let
silly.
me think about that. I think there is something that the time difference. So the obvious jokes are, and it doesn't really work with LA.
We throw out
like,
the obvious ones so that we can get to the.
Yeah, like the obvious ones are like they're 3 hours and 60 years behind if it's a bit of a hick town or whatever. But
right.
LA doesn't have that. The idea, what do they do with that extra 3 hours? They wait in traffic or something. That's pretty hacky.
Yeah.
And when I say pretty hacky, I mean the most hacky.
What do they do with those 3 hours? Yeah, okay. So is there something in this? It's a mall Santa protest. Mm-hmm. And instead of hey, hey, ho, ho, it's just... you know the rest of that joke.
What if it is a mall Santa Ramones cover band? Ho, ho, let's go. That has to have been done. That is a T-shirt on Canal Street. Has to be.
I don't know, because I looked at, every time I come up with an idea, I just don't trust myself. And I'm like, this has got to be, come on, someone's got to have done this one.
I wish everyone that was published in the New Yorker had that attitude.
Oh, my God. Tell me about it. By the way, if this is your job, if you do this as a job, if you come up with ideas for the New Yorker, maybe turn this off. This is not a great idea for us to be in your brain. Hey, hey, ho, ho, mall Santa protest. Because you remember
What if it's hey, hey, ho, ho, ho? Is that the joke?
That's it. That's probably it. I guess. I don't think it's any more complex than that.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, ho. Itchy beards have got to go. That's so dumb. Don't.
Pissing kids. This is that trope of kids pissing on laps of mall Santas.
What?
Yeah,
That's a trope?
Kids, just like wetting themselves on the lap. They sit on Santa's lap and they're like, oh, hey, Santa, and then someone obviously pisses. I don't know what it is.
Are you literally getting a phone call from LA as we
Right, currently getting a phone call from LA because they're 3 hours behind. They just woke up. All right, is there anything in this? Mm-hmm. All anyone talks about on the phone at the airport is how long it took the Uber to get to the airport. Is there like a sign? Is there a sign, like a section, like a smoking section, but it's a section for people to talk about how long the Uber took to get to the airport?
Maybe it's a sign. So, yeah. So, sorry, when I say...
No, like TSA, clear, and then like these different lines.
No, I think it's when you're leaving. It's like taxis, Ubers, Lyft, or it says rideshare. Taxis, taxis, shuttle, rideshare.
Yep.
Something about how long a ride share.
Because there's still in some airports like little smoking sections, like little booths that people walk into with a little sliding door. You got people going to have a smoke. It's like that, but people going in to have a kvetch about how long it took the Uber to get them to the airport, kind of thing. Like a section, because it's all anyway. Like I was delayed in LA for about 6 hours, and I'm sitting there. For some reason, my
should have
headphones...
called New York.
Should have called New York. I should have called New York. Should have bothered someone.
Hello, New York. Jason. How do you like it?
You're on the air.
Wait.
And I was overhearing so many conversations, and every single one, I'm not even like, with no exceptions, every single one was talking about how long it took them to get to the airport, to LAX. Because getting to LAX is one thing. Getting from the line of cars to the terminal is a totally different. It's another 45 minutes. I swear to God.
So I think that is the insight, and that is universal. That's every airport on the planet.
Pretty
the
much.
second
I mean,
you
LA's
get
the
into
worst
that
at it.
that departures ramp to go up,
you think you're there. It's a mirage, is what it is.
Now that's interesting.
Yeah, you think you're at the airport, son. You have no idea. You've got another 45 minutes till you get to your terminal. You know what I mean? Like your departure gate.
Yeah, maybe that's the like.
Is that the mirage?
The maybe not a mirage. Well, yeah, mirage is pretty funny, but the like when you're on a like in a queue for just a big shout out to Morris.
Shout out to Morris
saying hello to Morris.
Yeah. He's got an idea. He's asking if
the when you're on in line for a ride. Can I also just point out just how I keep stuttering and forgetting things?
Yes.
Ashika and I have been Ashika's my wife. We've been so tired and so forgetful lately.
Yeah, you do have a child. You have an infant child.
That we were like, our thought was like, oh, okay, I know what's going on here. We have a gas leak in our house. We honestly had that conversation. We're like, that's the only logical reason for us, mate.
Funny.
When you're on a ride at a theme park, it tells you how long you've got, or in customs queue.
Oh, yeah. How long you've got to wait.
And is there something in the guy like outside the terminal, but it says 45 minutes? See, for some reason, like the guy always wants to go.
Yep. No, there's something there. There's something in that. There's the idea of that getting to the airport isn't getting to the airport. It's just getting to the line at the airport. When you call an Uber, you think, oh yeah, it's 45 minutes to the airport, and then another 45 minutes to get to the actual gate. I don't know. I was sort of dancing around that idea while I was waiting to get to the fucking terminal. It was just one of those things like, oh, there could be something in this. And everyone I talk to about it has their own version of the story.
And that's why it's such a great such a great place to play, right? Like it's something everyone relates to.
Yeah. And it's every airport. I mean, even the most efficient airports in the world. I was in Japan in September, and every airport, like the most efficient, I swear to God, the most efficient airport in the entire world, Tokyo. Amazing airport. Even they can't figure out humans en masse trying to get somewhere.
Well, you know why?
Why?
It's because it's all tourists going to the airport.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's not amazingly organized Japanese people. It's all people not from Japan.
Can we also just say this? We're like, oh, the Japanese are so efficient. No, it's just like if you treat people around you like a human being, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There was this study where they showed ants when they were, when ants are building a colony, they're all single file, and these guys are taking this shit out, and these guys are taking this shit in, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then they compared it to people trying to merge onto like a bridge or something in a car. And they said, they go, the issue is that humans are too selfish.
Yeah.
It would be way quicker if you just let the guy in.
Of course.
Everyone's going to benefit.
Of course. The Japanese do this all the time, and it's flawless traffic. It's amazing. They never have traffic jams. They're always letting each other in. It's perfect. It's perfectly flowing
think
traffic.
They never have traffic jams, maybe at Gross Head over again.
I mean, I didn't see one the whole time I was there, and I was driving at peak hour on a highway. It was, I swear to God, I've never seen traffic jam. I mean...
Were you in a taxi?
No,
a Toyota Cressida. They're all Toyota Cressidas with doilies on the headrests and shit.
Doilies. Yeah. Yes, that's a throwback.
Yeah. The guy's got those like white gloves that are saved for drivers from the 30s or people with really bad dermatitis, so they can't itch themselves.
Or gallerists at the Metropolitan Museum.
Yeah, someone handling the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you want to buy this Rolex? Here, let me put these unnecessary gloves on. That's the thing as well. With you buying a watch, this thing's going to outlast religion,
right?
But you can't touch it without gloves.
Yeah, of course.
What will happen? You don't want to know.
Is there something in this? And this might be very. I'm trying to be playful with this, but this time making any reference to this is a very sensitive time. It always is, but because you just said this watch is going to outlast religion, which is hilarious, by the way. As a phrase,
joke
right now.
From Kenny, the movie, the Australian film Kenny. Shane Jacobson wrote that joke. Yeah,
I fell for it. Shout out to Shane Jacobson. I actually took my dad to see that film, and he still, like, it doesn't matter how much I told him he was an actor. He's like, nah, he's real. I've seen him before. I've seen him in the Melbourne Cup. I'm like, no, Dad, it's an actor. It was a mockumentary. He's like, no, I've seen that guy.
Because Shane Jacobson promoted that film by show. So the film is about this guy who was
film.
A
Portaloo
guy. Like he was a sewerage dude, and he was like a bit of a bogan, but he had a heart of gold, and everyone loved him. And it was played by Shane Jacobson, written by Shane Jacobson, an Australian comic, very funny guy. But he did press for that by getting around as Kenny
Yep.
for like years.
Yeah. At
He
the
was like,
screening we were at, he was dressed as Kenny doing
Wait,
Q&A after the film.
Yeah. He waxed on the overalls.
Yep.
What do you want to know? And
Yeah.
then he's like, yeah, we had a real interesting kind of dichotomy. Like, dude, you can't be saying the word dichotomy in those overalls.
In overalls. So they're I don't know. And again, I want to be super. I just want to flag this one. I know it's sensitive, but I'm trying to be friendly and open and
All ears.
yeah.
Okay.
So you and I, because we're old men now, we are in our 40s. I'm sitting at a desk all day. I do yoga. I know you do yoga also. I'm always, I can't switch off cartoonist brain. I'm always trying to think of something for a joke. And I keep, when the instructor says, meet me in child's pose, something happens in my brain every time. And I just keep thinking, oh, there's something in that. Was it meet me in child's pose? Or meet me in downward dog. It basically means you move through a series of positions. You do a not a shavasana. What do you call it? A vinyasa, which is a flow of moves, and then you end in downward dog. Right? I think, I don't know. Meet me in downward dog or meet me in child's pose. The thing is that this is a little spicy. It's a bunch of Muslims at the call to prayer. They're all in child's pose. He's gone. He's off camera. He's gone. I always wondered which one would be the one to do it. That's the one. That's the one where he leaves.
It's
a call to prayer. They're all doing child's work because that's part of the prayer movement in the Muslim.
I know that you're the outspoken political guy, but I'm also a bit of a bleeding heart. I don't like the term groups of and followed by a religious descriptor. I don't like it. I don't like it.
But it's the yoga instructor at the front of the prayer of the room because they're all in prayer mats like yoga mats. And they meet me in child's pose.
Oh, that is pretty funny.
It's kind of funny. But I just thought there's no way anyone's getting away with that. Maybe that's like not Mad Magazine. Maybe that's even like a, like not crap.
There's a lot
The
of
Realist, maybe.
Yeah.
It's another magazine, The Realist.
Yeah, or
just Charlie Hebdo.
I was gonna say like a Breitbart.
Yeah, I know. It's bad. It's bad.
I understand like the. Yeah, no, no.
Okay, so a little bit of news. So your boy was in the New Yorker Festival on Sunday.
Oh yeah, I meant to ask. How did it go? You were doing a panel and blah, blah, blah.
Well, so what it is, we were doing live cartooning, just like this. In fact, we're doing live drawing of cartoons. We're coming up with them on the fly. We had judges. We had Roy Wood Jr. and Chloe Radcliffe,
friend of the show. Roy Wood Jr.,
previous guest
our
and friend of the
homie.
show.
Yeah.
Roy Wood Jr. as judges, cartoon judges, and had two teams: Victor Venato and Amy Huang with versus me and Emily Bernstein. And it was a funny, and Emily Flake was hosting. We were coming up with ideas and jokes. We did ask fors from the audience. It was really, really fun. We did it 2 nights. We did a Saturday and a Sunday this year.
So you did our live podcast.
Basically our live podcast for the New Yorker Festival. Without the swears.
Did we make
Actually, that's not true.
Did we make money?
No, we didn't.
No, okay.
We'll send him an invoice. There was actually, I lie, there was lots of swearing. It got very, but there was one joke in it that did pretty well. And I want to know if there's something in it because I could pitch it. And I don't know if doing it live on stage counts as publication. Just so anyone knows, you can't sell a cartoon to the New Yorker if it's been published before. So what I was thinking was it's a turtle at an optometrist's, right? Optometrist is just so exhausted. He's so tired. He's looking at his watch. He's just so pissed off. And it's the turtle just sort of with the eye chart in front of him. And it just says A, and it's just got dot 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 dot. It just keeps going. He's just meant to read from the top to the bottom, and it's the optometrist being very annoyed with this.
Yeah.
But in my head, I thought, that's like the first iteration of a joke, which is always like, all right, throw out your first idea, and so.
It does. It feels like there is a joke there.
Well, yeah, but I don't think it's that.
No,
I think it's
I agree.
tortoise at a optometrist doing the eye test, or something in an optometrist doing the eye test that's an animal that.
Okay, what about this?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
what's a nocturnal animal?
An owl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you mind turning the lights off?
Actually, is it an owl? And the eye chart is 40 miles away. That could be something. It's an owl. Hang on, I'll draw it.
Oh, I love that, Jason. That's very silly.
It's an owl. The optometrist
Yeah.
on a chair.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah, of course. This is the owl's not a crazy person.
I'm
Oh, you're not drawing.
I'm not.
Let's start again.
No, I'll do it in post. It's fine. Owl on the chair, and maybe the
Eye
optometrist.
test is a funny idea because
Yeah,
everyone
well,
knows it.
I think it's a trope. One of the official tropes, because there's like a list of kind of official tropes. I think, there's something funny about an owl. Because it's captionless. This is my favorite kind of cartoon. It's just a situational thing. And here's what I'm thinking. It's on the page, the page layouts in the New Yorker. The owl on the chair is on the far bottom left of the page.
Oh, that's
And then
funny.
far bottom right of the facing page is the optometrist with the eye chart.
So, well, would it be an owl or an eagle? The eyes of an eagle eye of a hawk,
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
owls are
yeah.
better known for nighttime.
Vision, but also distance and nighttime vision, whereas eagles and hawks is got the vision
Can
of
I
an eagle.
can I pitch something very dumb just so I
Sure.
just don't have to think about it anymore?
Yeah.
It's a dolphin
Go on.
underwater doing an eye test.
Of course he is.
And the doctor is a human just
Yeah, of
standing
course he
there.
is.
Yeah. No goggles. So shit.
So dumb. That's so dumb. I love it. Oh my god. That's so dumb. That's so stupid. That's funny though. It's very funny. God, anything with a dolphin. You and fucking porpoises.
I love it. I
You're
love a
obsessed with
porpoise.
porpoises.
I love a mammal.
You're a man of porpoise. Is there something in this? The idea of when you say set my alarm for whatever. There's a game that I learned. There's a thing that at parties that I've been to lately, especially in New York. There's something weird about. And again, this is me being an old man now, and young people telling me, "Hey, can you open your phone and show me your clock, your alarms on your phone?" And there's a lot of insight that can be determined from a person's life by how many alarms they have on their phone. They've got 6:45.
Come on, you can do it.
6:50, 6:55, 7 a.m. Like they've got all these, and then like random 7:54, like weird little random alarms on their phone. That made me think, someone going to bed saying set my alarm for next year, or like going to bed on November 4th, just like, oh, can you just set my alarm for after this is all over, Is there something in that? Set my alarm for
I like
4
that.
years from now.
The thing the first place my mind went was historical moment, like Churchill,
okay.
Churchill's phone. Or I'm just trying to think of one of those like
set an alarm,
D-Day.
set an alarm
D-Day
for
had
my
to.
finest hour. It's Churchill. Set an alarm for my finest hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah.
There's scope there. Set an alarm. Yeah, there's something there. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, there's something there.
I forgot we were filming because I just very aggressively and obviously tapped my watch to say we've been going too long.
That's okay. We'll kill it in post. All right. I think we've got a lot of. Yeah, I think we've got some stuff there. There's something in that. We've got a batch. I think we'll pitch it. Basically, we do pitch each week, and then we get vacuum of space silence if it's a no, but we get a maybe or a yes or an okay if the New Yorker wants to buy it. So we'll pitch the batch.
Are we allowed to tell them about the thing?
About which the books? Yeah, why not?
So we've got some books coming out.
We've got some books coming out in 2025.
That's it.
That's the teaser.
But what we're going to be doing, and this is something that if you've listened this far, you are very much target market for this.
Absolutely.
What we want to do is we want to do this live in your town. And we want to go to like your favorite bookstore, ideally in indie, but we're also friends with the big ones.
Yep.
Well, we'll find out if we're friends with them. But
We'll see.
So the book is You're Not a Real Dog Owner Until.
Yeah.
And you can go to Simon Schuster and
just Google
just
Dog Owner
Google
book,
it or our
Scott
names
Dooley.
or
It's
whatever.
on Amazon. It's on Simon Schuster. All that stuff.
And yeah, so let us know if you want us to come to you. And so we are. Well, the plan is we're going to be doing a lot more live things initially in New York.
Yeah.
And then when people in New York realize it's not very good, we'll come to your hick town.
once we've exhausted everyone in New York. Yeah. I'm also I didn't mention that there's a magazine. This is germane to the people who like the New Yorker and the things that we do, the cartoons we're doing for the New Yorker. There is a magazine called The New Barker, which is just all dogs. It's the New Yorker but dogs. And they just asked me to do a cover. The cover illustration for the New Barker and a feature on the book. So if you haven't subscribed to the New Barker, one of the great publications of our time.
Oh my God.
One of my favorite publications of all time. They have cartoons in there as well, by Dave Coverley, which is amazing. And so keep an eye. If you haven't subscribed to the New Barker and you have a dog, oh my God, you have to subscribe to it. It's fantastic. So we'll be in there as well. If we don't get published in the New Yorker, check the New Barker.
Is this a bad title given Bob Barker died last week?
Oh, wait, did Bob Barker die?
I think so.
Was it Happy Gilmore? Who did?
He was attacked by a dog.
Oh my God, are you serious?
No, I don't know if he died. I don't know. Maybe we. Listen, to quote JD Vance, you promised you wouldn't fact check.
All right, that's it for us. All right, we'll be back again.
Oh, if you want to send your thing in?
Yeah, send them in. Chuck it in the comments of this on Substack or email us. You can just email jasonchatfieldcomedy@gmail.com or hit us up on Instagram at Scott Dools.
At Scott Dools, hit me up. I will never see it, but I
never checked his DMs.
I've made a definite thing to try to look at that more often.
Okay,
and so from the Tony Hinchcliffe Career Memorial Studios,
the Yankees World Series Memorial Studio, the Aaron Judge's Motor Skills Memorial Studios,
oh, that skilled millionaire.
Oh,
what a joke.
God.
All right.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next time.